And on this Wednesday, February 4th, 2026 edition of Newsmakers, there's been another deadly attack in Nigeria as the U.S. sends military officers to the country. Lisa Dwyer reports.
A member of parliament says that armed extremists have killed at least 162 people in attacks on two villages in western Nigeria, blaming the attacks on a group linked to the Islamic State group. Other analysts suggest it was a group associated with a Boko Haram faction. Nigeria has faced insurgency by Islamic militants in the northeast, kidnappings for ransom by gunmen across the northwest and north-central regions. President Donald Trump has accused Nigeria of not doing enough to protect Christians. The U.S. Africa Command has sent a small team of military officers to Nigeria. In December, U.S. forces launched airstrikes on militants there. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
The Winter Olympics, which got underway with its first competition today, is expected to be the last one held under the current rules that allow transgender athletes to compete against women. Congressman Chip Roy of Texas is in favor of changes being made by the International Olympic Committee. Roy of Texas says there is pressure on the IOC to ban transgender athletes from women's events.
They're hedging back and forth because they're indoctrinated with a bunch of, frankly, radical leftists, but they recognize the reality of what we're actually dealing with here.
Roy spoke this week during the markup of what has been dubbed the Protection of Women in Olympic and Amateur Sports Act. It would add a new rule requiring amateur sports organizations to ban trans athletes in order to be eligible for certification. A painting of a cherub with a face bearing a remarkable resemblance to Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni had attracted large crowds to the Basilica of San Lorenzo in Lucina, one of the oldest basilicas in Rome. That angel's face was gone when the church opened its doors today. The cherub's body remains, but the face was erased with a sloppy slab of paint or plaster. La Republican newspaper, which broke the story Saturday when it published the Meloni-esque angel on its front page, said the restorer responsible for making the Meloni cherub had covered it up overnight at the request of church authorities. Restorer Bruno Valentinetti admitted to the paper that he had styled the angel on Meloni, but didn't say why. The Diocese of Rome and the Italian Culture Ministry had both launched investigations after the image of the cherub was first published. The original painting only dated from 2000, so it wasn't a matter of damage to the church's historic patrimony, but Cardinal Baldassare Reina, the Pope's vicar for Rome, insisted that a political figure had no place in church art. The ruckus gave the basilica newfound celebrity status. In a statement today, the Culture Ministry set down the rules going forward. If the basilica plans to repaint the angel face, it needs prior authorization from the government, which owns the church, the Diocese of Rome, which operates it, and the Culture Ministry Special Superintendency for Rome. And that's Newsmakers for this Wednesday, February 4th, 2026 edition. I'm Keith Black.